What is going on? We're going to talk a little bit about A/B testing now. Building a landing page is great. It's great. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's one of the best things you could do for your business. But just building it is not enough, my friends. You got to take it to the next level. And the way you take it to your next level is testing. It's through A/B testing. And all A/B testing is you got a couple different versions. And one version is either the original version, which you can call your control. And the second version is the original version, but modified in such a way that you're trying to figure out if, one particular element is better. What should you test? What can you test? What tool should I use? These are all the common questions that we get. And we're going to go over a couple of them right now. So I'm using a real Replo customer example here. This is Fit with Cambry, and we've looked at some of their stuff before. But one of the things I will call out here is just how extensively they use Replo. We got so many pages. And one of the things I love about them is that they take their templates, take the templates that we have in our template library, and they really brand them well, and they juice them, and they use them to the max. So I'm very happy with this. What you're looking at right here is the Javi listicle template, modified with their fonts, their colors, their content, and their offer. And then here's a variant here. There are actually, a couple of different ways we can approach this, but one of the first things that I'll say is you can test every single element of a landing page. You can test, you can change headlines. This is the headline right here. You can change the offer that you have. You can change the layouts after you test the headlines. You can change some specific content, and you can figure out what the incremental lift is on each one of those elements. But when you're first starting out, if you don't have a ton of traffic to your website, or if you have like a decent amount of traffic, but you're trying to figure out like what that really big swing, major element, a major thing that's going to actually move the needle is, you're going to have to take some wider swings, some bigger swings. It's not just about like, I'm going to tweak this tiny little thing. No. Let's start with some major elements here, right? But you want to, whenever possible, to just test one element at a time. So with this particular example, what is happening? What's going on? We are testing this 3 reasons why you need a supplement system, very generic, kind of why you need a supplement system, with this whole wellness system offer, against the 3 reasons why you need a supplement that ends bloating. And this is a little bit more focused. It's actually the same content, and then it's focused to a different offer. And what I think about this is like, okay, we're actually testing 2 different elements here. But because we're changing the headline, we also kind of needed to adjust the offer. Now we didn't need to, but we are. And it adds a layer of variability. You don't get like as much granularity, but this is like a big swing that this brand needed to make to figure out exactly what was going on and what was worth doing. How do they test? Or what should they have done differently? Or how could we have structured? Or what's all the stuff? What I would have done differently here is I would have, instead of just, switching out the offer, I would have actually just started with the headline. I would have said 3 reasons why you need a supplement system that is, that ends bloating, and just try to see if there's any incremental lift on the original offer on that page. If this didn't, so these interactions actually, they add all these products to cart, they redirect to cart, something amazing you can do in Replo just by clicking right here. Go to interactions, you can configure all of this. Pretty sweet stuff. One of the things that, if this was going to a PDP afterwards instead of like directly to checkout like that, is you can measure click-through rate. So you can see, okay, people land on this website. What's the bounce rate? How quickly do people leave? How much time are they spending on this? And what are they, are they clicking through? And in this particular type of page, since we are optimizing to the offer right at the bottom of the page, we're just measuring click-through, or really the add to carts. And then, the overall conversions from that. Once people add to cart, are they actually checking out? At what rate? What's the time delay between them hitting that add to cart button and then actually completing the checkout? And so we're measuring all of these elements, and we're using a couple different tools to do so, which we'll talk about in just a second. But that's just like the gist of it. That's like the first thing that I would have done differently here. The next thing that I would have done after this is I would have probably taken an even bigger swing. And this is me. We actually have an accompanying document that has a more rigorous testing schedule that you can just print off and use, and be done. For this, because of where the business was and the amount of ad spend and all these sorts of things, I would have taken an even bigger swing, and basically kind of net resulted to what we ended up doing, which is changing the offer completely. And then we ended up testing this with a completely different offer page. I think it wasn't this. So we tested, that other listicle page against kind of more of a long form offer page to see which one improved, which one won. We found a winner. We doubled down on that. We kept making improvements. The goal here is that you get a landing page that first, ideally converts at 2%. Once you get to 2%, figure out how you get to 2.5. Once you get to 2.5%, figure out how you can get it to 3. Once you get to 3, figure out how you get to 3.75, and then 4.25, and then 5%. And once you get to 5%, that means 5% of the cold traffic, total strangers visiting this landing page from one of your advertisements or your top of funnel hooks, etc. They hit that page and 5% of people buy. That's a pretty special page. You can scale quite a bit if your conversion rate is 5%. And it takes you probably anywhere from 60 days to 180 days for you to get from 2% to 5%. But if you stick with it, and if you're diligent about testing and you're systematic about testing, and each time you test, whether you're changing out a headline, you're changing out the content within the page, like the image that's being featured, the offer, you're changing out the layouts. If you're being very specific about it and follow the guide that we have that accompanies this video, you can do some really trick stuff. You can build a transformative business. You can functionally double your business in a matter of 6 to 12 months, just by being diligent about iterating. So that's the testing system. In the next video, we'll talk a little bit about tools and stuff, and how you can actually deploy some of this.